Welcome back. Thank you for taking the time to be back at our channel. And everybody's wondering whether you're a Met fan, sitting down like yourself, or an MLB fan. What's going on with the Mets? They're an intriguing situation. Highest franchise, money-wise, in MLB history. Are they going to be buyers or are they going to be sellers? Today we sit on July 5th. The Mets are 6.5 games behind the next wild card. 5 days ago, on Friday, they sat 10.5 games behind. So essentially, they made 4 games up in almost 4 days. So right now, to say you're anywhere near a seller is kind of ridiculous. All of us Met fans, I did a poll last week, and 80% of Met fans said we should be sellers. I didn't do the poll this week, but if I did, I'm pretty sure it would be a whole different situation, and I don't blame you. Okay, so we're going to get into what is the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team. And do we have the potential to be last year's team and beyond? Because our goal is to win a World Series. And what I'm going to talk about, incremental differences can apply to any different Major League Baseball team. So please stick around. Please stick around to the end of into the video because we got some great facts that we're going to go over. Okay, like always, you are the best. If you could like and subscribe, that helps out our channel grow, and we've been doing a great job together. I appreciate all the feedback and the comments. Keep them flowing. Any questions you have about this video, drop a comment down. I want to hear from you. Okay, so what is the biggest difference from the Mets last year to the Mets this year? And I know we don't have players like Jacob deGrom, Chris Bassett, but I'm not talking about one player, Edwin Diaz. I'm talking about what we did well as a team last year pitching-wise, what we did well as a team last year hitting-wise. We were elite in a couple categories last year in both pitching and hitting. So we're going to go through the pitching first, and we're going to talk about statistically what did the Mets dominate in last year that this year we're just not as good in. So the first thing that I need to talk about was last year, and I don't know if you know this, we were the number one team in pitching in strikeouts. We had the most strikeouts in the entire league. By far. We had Edwin Diaz, obviously Jacob deGrom from some point of time, Scherzer. Our bullpen was striking people out. We had a bunch of strikeouts each game. Now, the reason why that's important is the other team doesn't have the opportunity to put the ball in play. When they don't have an opportunity to put the ball in play, that takes a less of a chance. Obviously, they can't get a hit. The Mets can't make an error. When you put the ball in play, stuff happens, whether it's a dribbler or bloop. So if you eliminate that possibility, the only outcome is an out. That's the only outcome, unless it's a pass ball or a drop third strike by the catcher, which is very, very unlikely. So you eliminate any possibility for error or you eliminate any possibility for a hit when you strike the person out. Also, last year, another statistic that we were dominant in was we didn't allow people free passes. No, we didn't. We were the 4th least amount of walks in the league. 428 walks the entire year. The only 3 teams who walked less than us were the Toronto Blue Jays, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Those are the only 3 teams that were better. Okay? So again, you strike guys out, you get them out, and you don't give them free passes. That is a very good combination for not very many runs to score. In terms of ERA, we also had a very good ERA. We were the 7th best ERA in the major leagues. We didn't allow many runs to score as a pitching staff. We allowed the 4th least amount of runs. We struck guys out. We didn't issue walks. We didn't allow players to score runs. We were a dominant pitching team collectively. That's starting pitching. That is bullpen. So we were supposed to mimic that formula for this year, but we haven't got there. This year, as of late, these last 7 days, the pitching is coming on. We were behind in a lot of stat categories. I'm going to give you this year's stat categories. I'll tell you where we are in strikeouts. I'll tell you where we are in ERA. So to date, in ERA, the Mets are 22nd with a 4.5 ERA. So that is a cry from 7th. All right, we'll go to strikeouts, our best statistic from last year. We are 17th. So we go from number 1 to 17th. Now let's go with earned runs. Earned runs this year, we are 19th. So another stat category that is not so good. And let's go to free passes and where the Mets, okay, this year free passes, again, we're towards the bottom of the league in that. We are 22nd in allowing free passes. So this year we have not been good. But here's where the hope is. And like I said, between being a good team and a bad team, there's incremental differences. It could be like, I allow one more hit per game this year as opposed to last year. I'm a bad team. A pitcher makes a mistake one more time, an outing, and it turns out to be a home run or an RBI situation, and they're just that much bad of a pitcher. So it's just so hard for players to dominate and so hard for teams to be good over and over. But the teams who are consistent are the teams who are always at the top. So I want to let you know what I was talking about in the last 7th game with regards to pitching. And this is why I think there is a bit of hope for the Mets. Okay, so I'm going to recycle this to 2023, and we're going to go to the last 7 games. So the last 7 games, the New York Mets team ERA is number 4 in the last 7 days, 3.2. If we keep this up at a high level, we could be a lot more productive. We should be a lot more productive. If you go to strikeout, we are number 5 in the last 7 days. If you go to earned runs, the New York Mets are number 4. If we keep up this pitching, if we keep up this trend, the team will be a lot better. No question about it. No question about it. Okay, now let's examine the hitting last year. What did the 22 Mets who won 101 games, what did they do well? All right, and they did one thing extremely well. And that was get on base. We were number 2 in the entire major leagues in getting on base. We got on base at a clip of 332. The only team who was higher, the only team in baseball who was higher was the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it wasn't by much. They were only higher by 1 percentage point. They got on base at a 333 clip. So we were very good at getting on base. Another category that I'm pretty sure everybody knew that we were good at was driving in runs. The Mets came in at 6th place and they drove in 735 runs. We weren't never a great home run hitter team. We never led the league in home run. We were never in the top portion. Last year we were 15th in home runs. So we didn't lead the league in runs, or we didn't lead the team. We weren't high in RBIs because of home runs. But what we did do well was we got hits. We were 4th in the entire Major League Baseball in getting hits. We had 422 hits. The only teams who were higher was Boston with 427, only 5, the White Sox with 435, and the Blue Jays with 1464. So we were in the upper echelon at getting hits, at producing runs, so RBIs, at on-base percentage. Those were the categories where we just dominated in last year. So we were producing runs in different ways. Those are the ways we were producing runs. So let's look at this year. What the heck are we doing this year differently? So the first thing I'm going to go to, okay, what were we elite in last year? We were elite in on base. So this year, in terms of on base, if I go find the Mets, and last year we were number 2, this year we go from 2 to 19. So we're not getting on base. We're not working counts. If we're not working counts, we're not getting the other pitchers out of the game. We're not getting into the bullpen. There's so many different things that we are not doing this year effectively. Getting on base, to me, is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, so home runs is where we have improved a bit. We go from 15th to the middle of the road to now we're 108. So we are 108 in that. And then the next category we're going to go to is we're going to look at the RBIs. RBIs, we're about middle of the pack. So we go from 7th to 14th in RBIs. So those are incremental differences. Not by a lot, but these are things we did well in last year that we're not doing well in this year. And hits. Last year we were number 4 in hits. And now in hits in 2023, we are 23. So we are not producing runs. We are not getting on base. There's no surprise that we're not doing as good as we did last year. So let's look at the last 7 days like we did in the pitching category. So for the last 7 days, let's see how we are in those important statistics. So first, we'll go to on-base percentage because we were good at that in the past. And on base-wise, the Mets are, okay, so incremental differences, they go from 23 to 14. So now they are on the 14th best on-base team, which is nothing to write home about. The Mets in the last 7 days have been hitting the ball out of the park. They have 11 home runs in the last 7 days. So if we're going to see like a new offense, if they're going to hit the ball out of the park, if you have Alvarez showing power, Nimmo showing like a Daniel Murphy 2015-like power, Pete's going to get his confidence back and he's going to smoke the ball. If Marte's going to, feel better, he's recovering from an injury, but if he's able to turn on the ball, will be good that part. If Lindor gets his power stroke going, we can produce runs in a different way. So that's where I'm a little more positive with the offense, because even though we're not getting on base at the same clip, we're producing runs and scoring runs differently. We were 15th last year in home runs, now we're 9th. So if we can produce runs at a different way, then at least offense we will be improving, and the pitching side, I've showed you numbers, will be improving then. So what do you think about these numbers? What do you think about the offense last year, pitching last year, in terms of us being dominant last year offensively and getting on base, being dominant last year pitching, getting strikeouts, and this year our philosophy, our team hasn't clicked. We haven't found a niche where we dominate in anything. We've been mediocre to bad in every single category. So you're obviously not going to have productive results if that is the case. So bottom line, you can make changes different. One hit, like I said, a pitcher gives up one extra hit a game. That's the difference between them being a good pitcher or a bad pitcher. So if the Mets can clean up things and change their hitting philosophy, there is a bit of hope. Are we going to be buyers? Are we going to be sellers? So I think that right now, we're only 6.5 back. It would be irresponsible for us to be sellers. We wait an extra 10 days and we evaluate the situation on July 15th. We don't want to be negligent any which way. We want to make sure we make the right decision, whether to be buyers, whether to be sellers. Let's see where we are in 10 days. Does the team take off from here or do we stay middle? If we stay middle, I'm still leaning on selling. We have to show major success in the next week and a half. That is my opinion. If we go on the 10-game win streak, a 15-game win streak, or if we go like 10-5, we have to at least win 10 games in the next 15 days. That is my opinion. I don't know how you feel. Please drop a comment. I'm very serious about getting this team good ASAP. Also, everybody keeps making a comment that we need an extra bat. We do need an extra bat. Jeff McNeil is not a 5-hitter. If you go to his Baseball Savant numbers, he has the worst Baseball Savant numbers of almost any major leaguer that I've seen. Please, folks, go to Baseball Savant and check out Jeff McNeil. It's almost pathetic. And if you want to also check out guys' Baseball Savant numbers, Brandon Nimmo has very good Baseball Savant numbers, and Tommy Pham as well. So those two are very, very impressive. But Jeff McNeil, it's very sad, very sad. He should never be a 5-hitter. So those are my opinions. Drop yours in the comment. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for sticking with us this video. This was just a quick video about the comparison from last year to this year. Well, you made it to the video. Drop a like, subscribe, and as always, let's go New York Mets.